Hobb's Grove comes alive after dark in October. Behind the scenes, monsters, freaks, the undead, and creatures roam about in preparation for the evening shows that draw visitors from across the state and beyond. This happens Thursday through Sunday during the month. Minutes away from the 7:30 p.m. opening one particular Thursday night, Hobb's owner, Laura Callahan, had just addressed her staff in preparation for the evening entertainment. Most of the actors had completed their costumes as daylight died and turned the place from idyllic summer spot into creepy, poorly lit forest. Slappy the clown, who would probably crush Stephen King's It with his gore, crusted baseball bat, roamed with blood in his eyes and murder on his mind. And a woman who defies description but will likely be seared into the memories of all who face the frightening forest, shuffled about nearby, conversing with everyone and anyone who ventured near. The character was barefoot and looked from her stained and bloody frock as if she had just escaped from some 1890s-era insane asylum where she was being tortured. She wore some sort of extreme metal contraption on her face that made her drool blacken spit. Characters, definitely. Then up walked Billy Bob Hobb, the frightening official host of Hobb's Grove. Hobb appeared recently on KC24 and even did the weather. He's crazy, like the rest who populate the 27-acre attraction from September 30 to October 30, but he's the most approachable, at least when he's in character. Out of character, or maybe it's better to say, at least this time of year, by day Billy Bob is Chris Casey, haunt designer and all-around mild-mannered guy. He approached the Marshalls, a couple from Riverside, who have a blog and podcast dedicated to horror parks. Hobb talked as if it were natural that dozens of creatures walked around in what had become pitch-black darkness. He received an introduction, and Sean and Carmel Marshall took it in stride. They were accustomed to such characters, having recently also toured the Hyde Street Massacre in Temecula and the Queen Mary's Dark Harbor in Long Beach. Earlier that afternoon, back before night turned Hobb's Grove into a creepy, scary place, Geesey had driven the grounds in his Kawasaki Mule 550 four-wheel cart, showing the new attractions and the revamped old ones. Hobbs has three main scare tour components: the frightening forest, the hayride into Shadows Keep, and the journey through the House of Hobb. The park's marvelous midway, which greets visitors, offers peddlers, entertainment, food, pumpkins, and the curiosity shop. What's great about Hobb's Grove is that this is a real forest, Geesey said. It has its own spiders, bats, and owls, even a bobcat. You can't replicate that. We want people to feel that they've stepped into another world. To an intensely real degree, people who visit Hobb's Grove do exactly that. Even knowing how it all fits together, what makes Hobbs a haunting masterpiece, and meeting all the mild-mannered actors before they get into character doesn't change the fact that when Hobb's Grove transforms, things get serious. And the attractions have been built as if they're actually lived in, actually used. This is all more important in the whole teleport into a different realm reality that Geesey talked about before morphing into Billy Bob. 98% of what we do comes out of our heads, Callahan said. She and a crew were working on a new mechanical feature in the frightening forest for that night's show. The forest trail links a series of attractions, all relatively disturbing. Some are interactive, which means the actors engage visitors as they pass through. Some are meant to simply scare the pants off anybody who happens by. This is all custom-made stuff, Geesey said. It's built to look old and trashed, but a close look at the construction and the materials shows the sophistication of the design. For instance, the Gypsy Camp Freak Show set allows visitors to encounter and interact with the deranged people or monsters. This is more of a fun scene. It doesn't always have to be scary. For the most part, it's entertainment. And the sets are highly detailed. Geesey says his cohort, John Mason, likes to think of it as if you lived there. How would it be? Everything has a reason. Each of Hobb's 3 main featured attractions takes about 15 minutes to experience, but it's on the hayride that they'll encounter Gary Lane. "I'll be dropping barrels tonight," he said.